All right, and welcome back. So today we are going to be talking about how to solve two and multi-step equations. Previously, we discussed how to solve one-step equations by using adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. And now we're going to take it one step, or technically multi-steps further, by solving two and multi-step equations. So please have out your guided notes for sections 1.4 that correspond to this presentation. And let's begin. So when solving multi-step equations, we first combined like terms on each side, if at all possible, and then we're going to use inverse operations. Now, I will say a lot of students forget this first piece. We always want to combine like terms first on each side of our equal sign. We want to simplify the left-hand side of our equal sign and simplify the right-hand side of our equal sign before we start moving things around. It's going to make our lives simpler and is going to make the understanding of how to find the value of our variable much more direct. So we always simplify before we start to do anything else. But once everything is simplified, then we're going to use inverse operations. So let's say we have 4x minus 3 is equal to 15. The current operations that we see is x is getting multiplied by 4, and then 3 is going to be subtracted. Well, we're going to solve using inverse operations. We're going to add 3 to both sides first, and then we're going to divide by 4. In this problem, we have x divided by 3 plus 2 is equal to 9. The operations that we see, we have x is getting divided by 3, then 2 is being added. So we're going to add negative 2 to both sides. Again, we sometimes say we're going to subtract by 2 on both sides, and then we're going to multiply both sides by 3. The order of the inverse operations is the order of operations in reverse. Here's what I mean by that. We have our general order of operations, PEMDAS. When we are simplifying an expression, we use PEMDAS. But when we solve, we're going to be going backwards. We're going to add or subtract first. Then we're going to multiply or divide. Then we're going to care for our exponents. And then we're going to work in our parentheses. Let me add in some commas here to help you visualize. When we're solving, we are undoing an equation. So instead of going normally forward with our order of operations, we're going backwards. So anytime that we can add or subtract on both sides, we're going to do that first. Then if we can multiply or divide, we're going to do that second. And then we're going to take care of any exponents once we get there. And then we're going to take care of any parentheses. We're going backwards when it comes to order of operations. That's the big takeaway when solving two and multi-step equations, is we're going backwards in our order of operations. Now let's say we want to solve 2x minus 7 plus 3x is equal to 13. One of the first things that I notice here is that we have like terms. We have 2x and we have 3x. So we're going to simplify. We're going to change that into 5x because 2x plus 3x is 5x. Notice how we're simplifying on both sides of our equal sign before we start to perform inverse operations. Now, we have 5x minus 7 is equal to 13. We're going to go backwards. Since x is multiplied by 5 and 7 is getting subtracted, well, we're going to go backwards in our order of operations. We're going to add 7 to both sides. That's going to cancel out. Remember, we're going backwards in our order of operations. You're going to hear me say that a lot, so just get used to it. So we have 5x is equal to 20. Now we have a one-step equation. We have 5x is equal to 20. 5 is getting multiplied by x. Therefore, we're going to divide both sides by 5, and we get that x is equal to 4. And we can always check our answer by plugging it in to the beginning. Anytime we see an x, we're going to substitute in 4, and we're going to verify to make sure that our answer is correct. If it is not correct, then that means that either we checked improperly or our value is wrong. So we got to go back and try it again. Awesome. With this in mind, please work on problems 1 through 4 on the guided notes. Turn it on over and resume when you're ready to move forward. All right, a two-step equation with fractions can be simplified by multiplying each side by the LCD. This will clear the fractions. The LCD is the least common denominator. You also hear it as a least common multiple. So for example, let's say we have x divided by 4 plus 2 over 3 is equal to 2. We see fractions, we see, oh, it's going to be a little bit tough here, right? That's okay. We're going to break it down. We're going to figure out the lowest common multiple or the least common denominator, and we're going to multiply each term by that lowest common multiple. So the lowest common multiple is 12, or lowest common denominator is 12. So we're going to multiply each term by 12. So notice here how we exaggerated it out. We're essentially using the distributive property to each term on both sides of our equal sign. Notice again how we're multiplying by 12 3 times because there are 3 terms in our total equation. We multiply everything by 12 and we get 3x plus 8 is equal to 24. We're going to work backwards in our order of operations. We're going to subtract 8 or add negative 8 on both sides. We get 3x is equal to 16. Now we're going to divide both sides by 3, and we get 16 over 3. As always, you know it, we're going to check. We're going to plug in our answer to verify and make sure that it works. And we do get a true statement, which means our answer is correct. Awesome. With this in mind, please work on problems 5 through 7 on the guided notes. Y'all are doing super well. Keep up the great work. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you soon.